This is Allie from THiNKtech, and today I'm going to give you a general walkthrough of the new THiNKtech version 3.0 for existing users. Let's start by talking about the new features in the platform. From inside a lesson, I now have the ability to preview what my lesson will look like to my students while they are completing it. I still have the ability to share any lesson with my colleagues or publish it to our THiNKtech public library using the share icon. When launching a lesson, I can still launch it live for students to join with a code. I can also still launch it in Teams, but now I have the option to create an assignment for my students to access through their student account. When creating an assignment, simply select the roster of students you'd like to send it to and press Continue. From here, you'll select a due date and a time at which the lesson will no longer accept responses. I can also leave further directions for my students. Once the lesson is launched and students are able to start responding, there are a few new features within the lesson. My tasks still exist where they always did, except now you'll notice that there's a small icon to chat or message students' feedback. By clicking on this, my roster will appear and I will select the student that I would like to instantly message. From here, once I send a message, a two-way dialogue will begin between the student and myself around the responses they submitted. The other main feature that is new is the lesson overview. By clicking on Lesson Overview, I can see the due date, the instructions, and now I can see the progress that each student is making on the lesson. By hovering over the task, I can also see the title to remind myself what students are working on. Now let's head back to our teacher dashboard. The next major change from THiNKtech 2.0 to 3.0 lies in the navigation bar at the top of the screen. I can still access my lesson plans and public lesson plans that users have published across the header. But now you'll notice that I also have active lessons and I have classes. Because we have student accounts, teachers can now roster their students. By clicking Classes, I simply create a class and then I'll be able to add students manually by selecting Add Student, import a roster using a CSV file or our Google Classroom integration, or I can share this code with students and they'll be automatically rostered into this class. My active lessons are now where I will find lessons that have student responses. Open lessons are lessons that students are still able to respond to. Closed lessons are lessons that are no longer open for student responses. And archived lessons are lessons that I have data on, but again, students can no longer access. To pull up my teacher creation screen or access a lesson, I simply find the lesson I want and then click on it. Once I do, it will take me into the lesson and I can view student responses just as I've always been able to on the platform. From the dashboard, since now student responses are housed in active lessons, I will no longer see a live tag on lessons that have student responses. The lessons that I have here on my dashboard are simply teacher content. Each time I launch a lesson from the Lessons Plan page, the student responses will be found under the Active Lessons page. You are now set to navigate THiNKtech 3.0 with the addition of student accounts, and as always, if you need any assistance, simply click on the icon in the lower right corner to chat us at any time.